Hello there and welcome. Today we're taking a look at the F1 Manager 1.5 update patch notes. We're also going to go through what the patch has actually done so you can get an idea of what the state of the game is at. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, as that helps me out a ton. So to start off with, there's some stability fixes here, various crash and stability fixes, pretty straightforward. And they also fixed a soft lock when selecting compared staff on a vacant staff member's profile. In terms of team management, reduced mentality impact on attributes. As far as I've seen in my stream, this basically means now that mentality caps out at a +7. But I've seen some people say on the Discord that it could be +8. So mentality has been slightly reduced from a +10 modifier to a +7 or 8. So a very minor reduction there. In terms of car development, fixed AI starting races with major powertrain faults. This means that they will no longer start, or they'll switch out a component if it has orange levels of damage for a fault, as that slows you down significantly. Improved AI assignment of engineers, increasing simultaneous projects in progress. Basically now, the AI is using all 4 of their slots fairly efficiently. They always have 4 projects running. Improved AI utilization of CFD and wind tunnel allocation, which means that they're actually using now their full CFD and wind tunnel, as far as I know. And adjust the start dates for AI research projects. The AI will now do more research. We're actually going to take a look at exactly what this means at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Sponsorship changes, fixed secondary sponsor payment not being received, reduced financial penalty for not meeting engagement targets, and fixed inconsistencies in the UI presentation of sponsorship payments. This too is something we'll take a quick look at and actually explain what they've changed, but basically now sponsorships make a little bit more sense. Race weekend, fixed strategy being reset when changes made to pace mode within driver options. Basically, there was a bug where you changed pace before the race started. It would revert to the basic strategy if you'd picked something else. That has now been fixed. Fixed drivers becoming stuck in garage after red flag during qualifying, which is also a nice fix. That is basically it. There isn't too much to this patch, but basically the car development fixes have been highly anticipated, let's put it like that. Now with that said, we're first going to take a quick look at the sponsorship and exactly what it's done, and then we'll jump into the car development. So let's talk what has actually changed in terms of the sponsorships, and the main thing that has changed is the way the engagement pool works. Previously, the engagement pool was split into 2. You had your mandatory activities that paid out individually, and then you had your engagement pool as a whole. Now, mandatory activities no longer pay out individually. They will be added to the engagement pool, and they will be paid out over the course of the 8 sponsor periods, meaning that any money that you see in the engagement pool, you can split this in 8, and that should be the payment that you will be receiving for each sponsorship period. They've also made it so you don't necessarily need to reach the sponsor plan goal in order to get some funding. It's been relaxed a lot more. But basically, just to be absolutely clear, engagement is now completely and fully its own pool. And even if you do have a mandatory goal here, and it says that that mandatory goal gets paid out, it's actually still bundled in here. So it's just a little bit confusing how the sponsorship works. But this is the only number you need to care about, how much you have in your total pool. And this, again, is going to get paid out over those 8 sponsor plan periods, as far as I've seen. When it comes to the AI and how it designed and researched in 1.4, you can see a representation of it here on your screen. We've taken data from the save, and on average, over the course of that first season, the AI would spend 25 million or so on designs and 5 to 6 million on research. And that didn't really change much going into the next season, 2025, 30 or so million on design and 5 to 6 million on research. Not really a lot of money. However, with the 1.5 upgrade, the AI has now started using far more money, both on designing and research. This is the first season of a save in 1.5, and on average, the team spent close to 50 million, split 1/3 on research and 2/3 on design. This is already very promising, particularly compared to how they've been developing before, but the AI still seems to use balanced sliders, not really make use of any presets, and that does make them quite weak. They're doing a lot more with the money that they have, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're developing a whole lot quicker. But at the same time, this is kind of what you want to see, the AI actually spending some time designing and researching, so it's at least a step in the right direction. Now, if we compare it to 2025, which is the bigger regulation season, the pattern doesn't change. They're still spending 2/3 of their money on design, 1/3 on research, and this is one of the issues with 1.5. Even though 2025 is the season where we're losing 50 to 70% of our expertise, the AI isn't taking any steps to rectify this. If anything, this should have been flipped the other way around, kind of like we did as the player team over here. We spent 45 million total, versus the AI's somewhere between 55 to 60 million dollars. So does this actually make the AI more competitive? And the answer to that is, unfortunately, not really. Now, as you can see, this is the result of the first Grand Prix in 2026. And although Verstappen and Sainz didn't get lapped, they're still a good 1 minute 15 seconds behind and 1.5 minutes behind. And the rest of the field did get lapped as a whole, which of course is a bit of a problem. So even with all the money the AI is currently investing, if you are doing everything kind of a min-max style, you are still going to be dominating the AI in your third season with Creative Team, which is what I've done here. I did record the entire thing, basically streamed it to test things out. But while the patch 1.5 is a step in the right direction, the AI is still not really doing a good enough job with researching in the third season, or rather the second season, 2025, which becomes a very big issue in the third one, as you will easily be able to dominate it without really min-maxing too hard. And again, that is a bit of an issue, but there's not really much you can do. Currently, what I think Frontier needs to do is make the AI take advantage of sliders a little bit, and also flip the design to research ratio for the second season. At least make them a little bit more competitive. If the worry is that the game is going to become too difficult doing this, then the answer is to basically decide what sliders AI can use and the research ratios through the use of the 3 difficulties, or even add an extra difficulty where you can set the research to design ratio yourself. That would be my suggestion. But generally, as mentioned here, due to the mentioned issues with the AI and its research, by the time you actually reach the third year, you can have a car that is still potentially lapping Red Bull. And again, it is a little bit unfortunate, but I will admit this patch is a huge step in the right direction, and the AI is now developing very, very well. But if you want to still have a bit of a competitive game in that third year, limit yourself a little bit on the research. Try and limit yourself to maybe, I don't know, 1 project for everything you CFD on. Even that might be a little bit too much. But there isn't really much you can do. Unfortunately, the AI is just using balanced sliders, which is a huge weakness, unfortunately. But yeah, that was it for patch 1.5. There isn't really too much to mention here. If you are interested in having a look at the stream where I did this, it's on my YouTube channel. I'll add a link in the description. But generally, as I mentioned, I feel like this patch is a step in the right direction. But the AI's way of development, to me at least, still leaves quite a bit to be desired, which is unfortunate. If you want to develop in the same vein as the AI, then keep your sliders balanced. And yeah, for every research project you do, choose science. That's about it though. Again, hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.